Welcome back, Spurs fans, to the Scott Hepler Football Channel. Today we're doing our top 5 ponderings, discussing whether we think the Spurs are going to finish in the top 5 this season. And just a little reminder on, I've taken a lot of data over the season, over the past few months, and crunched it, compared that against the remaining schedule of us and the teams that we're competing against, and put all that together and spit out some prediction. And just to kind of remind you, I broke the season down into quarters. So the first 2 quarters are 9 matches each. The last 2 quarters are 10 matches each. We're in the final quarter of the season. Also, I've built in a margin of error of about 3 points. So it gives a little bit of flexibility. So depending on where things end up, teams can move and up and down a little bit. And it does change from week to week based on results and how things are looking and stuff like that. So with that being said, let's give a little team update here. Spurs are currently have 5 matches left in the season, total of 15 points, sitting 6th with 53 points. Just a couple points behind Chelsea and West Ham, 4th and 5th. So, and our next Premier League match is going to be against Sheffield United. So, a lot going on. There's still opportunity, but the other teams have to give us help. So another thing to keep in mind is every team above us and even a couple of them below us have matches in hand on us. So games in hand, have a game in hand. And so our margin of error is like razor thin. And so let me know what you all think. Do you think the Spurs can make top 5? And do you think we'll finish above Liverpool? So there's an interesting thing. So we're going to take a look at a couple things here. Look at where things were standing the last time we did this video, and then we'll talk about where we think things are going to go. And so first of all, the last time we looked at things, Spurs were sitting 7th, and as far as 4th quarter matches, we were trailing in all the indicators versus every other team that we're competing against to get into that top 5. And so things were looking even more bleak when we did this. And this was after the Everton match. So when we compare the 4th quarter statistics, now after the most recent match, which was Southampton, some things have changed around a little bit. Some of the indicators that we use to come up with what I think where the finishing places will be have moved a little bit. So, as far as the 4th quarter indicators, Spurs are starting to pick up some steam in being able to catch those teams. But, the 4th quarter has only been 5 matches for the Spurs. And so that's a very short indicator of what's been going on. So then I usually take a look at what things have looked like with the combined 3rd and 4th quarter totals, because that gives me a better range of data to work with and to really see what teams are doing over the long haul, because the consistency is really the key, especially going into the rest of the season. We got to consistently be getting points. And when we look at again, this is prior to the Southampton match, we were starting to really fall behind as far as points per match were considered compared to the other teams that we're competing against. Plus our window of our margin of error, that window is really getting narrow. If you look there between the points that we're scoring and the points that we're giving up. So we don't have a lot of room for error. After this Southampton match, things look a little bit better, but not significantly better. So, the other teams have taken some losses and even drawn a little bit. So, it's pulled them back a little bit from how well they were doing. But we've only really had one win in a little bit, and so it's not propelling us forward well that much. And so while we are starting to gain a little bit over the period of, the third and fourth quarter, the other teams, especially the ones that we're chasing, like a Chelsea and West Ham, they're significantly more consistent than we are. And so let's take a look at what we had predicted the final would be after the Everton match. And so looking at the final predictions for the season after the Everton match, we were showing West Ham to be third, Leicester to be fourth, Chelsea, Liverpool, and then Spurs in seventh. So it wasn't looking good after that Everton match. And so, some things have shaken up a little bit. And the big drum roll, need to add in some music or something here. But what do we think is going to happen here as of the result after Southampton? So crunching all the numbers again after Southampton and everything, Spurs are not going to move off that 7th spot at this point in time. Based on the remaining schedule, how we've been playing over the short and longer term combined, and just looking at what the other teams' schedules look like and how they've been performing, it does not look good for the Spurs. Actually, it looks like Liverpool may even move up above Chelsea into that 5th spot. Because I've said it before, Liverpool has the easiest remaining schedule of anyone in the top 10. And it's just not looking good for us. We've dug ourselves such a deep hole we can't get out of it unless we win every match that's left and we get a little help from the other teams. But as far as it stands today, and with all the data I have at my disposal, and looking at all the schedules for all the remaining teams that we're fighting against for the top 5, I project we'll finish 7th with 61.5 points. So that would leave us top 5. That'd leave us 6 points behind Liverpool, who I think will make top 5 now. That Chelsea's kind of come back a little bit, but they've also had some tough matches, and they're still in the European match competition, where Liverpool, they're done. So they can focus solely on the Premier League. Well, that's what I got. Let me know what you guys think. Are we in this? Are we out of this? What do you think about the other teams that are around us? Remember, most of these teams have a game in hand on us, so we don't have any room for error anymore. It's pretty much a win every match left and hope we get a little help. But let me know what you all think. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button, support the channel. Want to build a great community here where we can all engage and have good conversation. And let me know your comments down below. Come on, you Spurs.